What did you make of the Labor approach? It seemed that the government wasn't able to simply say, look, this is a Victorian problem, the Victorian wave. They're having to provide some responses. Is it sufficient?
Yes, so yesterday we know they sort of went the Victorian route. They obviously don't want to antagonise the Victorians too much. Scott Morrison wants to keep this National Cabinet together. Instead, he strongly disputed this figure Anthony Albanese came up with in terms of an alleged cut to aged care of $1.7 billion, should I say. And he referred to an ABC fact check, the Prime Minister, which found at the time this occurred around 2018, when the opposition, Bill Shorten at the time, was saying there was a $1.2 billion cut from aged care, that there was a cut, but funding had also gone up. So there was a cut over 4 years of $1.2 billion in the 2016-17 budget, but at the same time in 2017 there was $1 billion more spent than the year previous. So Scott Morrison's argument is you're just wrong to suggest that there is this cut. Obviously some highly sort of emotional stories put to Scott Morrison in question time as well. He came back with the fact my own dad was in aged care. It got pretty willing in there.
The Aged Care Royal Commission's interim report, titled Neglect, revealed that up to half of all older Australians in residential aged care are malnourished. They're literally starving. Didn't the Prime Minister's decision to cut $1.7 billion from aged care leave frail and vulnerable older Australians worse off?
These were the matters that were highlighted in that interim report, and we moved very quickly to provide the funding to support that soon after that interim report came down. When its final recommendations are made next year, Mr Speaker, we will have the opportunity to respond in full to those in the budget of next year. In the meantime, in the budget of this year, we will continue to address the many challenges there are in aged care.
The Aged Care Royal Commission's interim report, titled Neglect, drew attention to aged care residents sitting or lying in urine or faeces. Did the Prime Minister's decision to cut $1.7 billion from aged care contribute to these shocking circumstances?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Speaker, I've already addressed the misleading statements made by the opposition that they continue to assert, and I have already informed the House of the significant increases in investments that have been made by the government when it comes to aged care. And for those of us who have had to make decisions about putting our own family, our own parents into aged care, we have known that when we've done that, we are putting them into pre-palliative care. And we know it won't be long, Mr Speaker, it won't be long in many cases, Mr Speaker, and it was certainly the case in my own experience, in the decision that my family had to make.
Taking it personally there, the Prime Minister, with his recent experience, his father passed away this year. Anthony Albanese is at the Press Club tomorrow talking about neglect, an address basically on the aged care issue, which shows how he's trying to push this forward. Be interesting to see if he has any positive solutions on it when he does speak. Here's Scott Morrison again, very heavily disputing the cut that Labor was alleging.
When funding goes up every year by $1 billion and more, that's a good thing. And, Mr Speaker, that is what has been happening with aged care funding in this country.